You're about to listen to TADPOG, Tyler and Dave Play Old Games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. It's a show that happens weekly where two old guys, one of them being sick and the other maybe being sick.
I've been accused of being sick today.
Today.
You're actually sick.
I've been sick since Thursday.
And, yeah, sick and demented.
Yep. Just asking for fucked up shit all the time.
Sick and Demented is our radio show. You're sick, I'm demented. I'm Demented Dave.
Sick and demented. Sick Saberto and Demented Dave.
You have a lot of cool nicknames.
Yeah.
Saberto, Dry Tubs. That's just the one that I call
Spree.
you.
You know that thing
Spree.
that no one ever called me that I want people to call me?
I forgot about
in
it
sixth
because
grade?
it's not good.
Yeah, no.
Saberto is much better. Even though I stumbled upon it, to get through it a few episodes back. I was like, Saberto? I can't. What is it? Saberto.
Two old guys play old games. This week, I don't know if it was requested or we just wanted to do it.
It wasn't requested.
Okay.
It was the game of the month over in the Retro Video Game of the Month Club, which is a group on Facebook that Steve and Michael of Facebook, who you probably know from the Nerdy Thursday podcast, he called in to that show a lot. He started, and it's pretty cool. I recommend you check it out. Each month, he puts a poll up in the group on what game we want to play that month. It's kind of like a book club, but instead of books, it's old video games. Yeah, it's a lot better than books.
So I had to turn my head to cough. So you guys, if you hear sniffling and snucking and coughing, snucking, yeah, that's snuck.
Is that like a British term?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think it was the
Snogging?
first time I heard that. A Garfield comic.
It's a real word?
The first time I saw
thought you
that,
just made it up.
be used.
Snucking?
Snuck.
Like
that.
snuck.
Yep.
Okay. Like not snuck in.
That lovely
that's,
sound I'm sure everybody enjoyed.
I sneaked into a theater. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't snuck in.
At least we're using it properly. But before we start breaking down Castlevania Bloodlines for the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, the Sega Genesis.
I'm your bearded host, Tyler, and
Sick boy.
the same day I got sick, I also had my bladder pacemaker trial installed into my back.
You had all the wires coming out and everything?
Yep, it was weird because I went in and they basically
gave you the cyborg treatment.
Like the shitty plastic cyborg treatment.
You're like Lobot. Do you know who Lobot is?
No, but it makes sense.
Lobot is probably the best character in Star Wars ever.
Okay.
He's kind of like a bald albino eunuch cyborg.
So me already.
Well, I see where you're. Never mind. You already saw where I was going with that. You're much cooler than Lobot.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're much cooler than Lobot. Although I hope. Okay.
You're much cooler. You still have your balls.
Yeah, right.
Otherwise, you're exactly the same. You're like Loga balls.
But Lobot, I was really looking forward to Lobot making an appearance in the Solo movie that just came out kind of recently-ish. He did not. He didn't show up.
I haven't heard anyone talk about that.
I liked it. Yeah. It's like not a great movie, but it's good, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Everyone's complaint about that movie was, well, we knew that Han wasn't going to die and that Chewie's going to meet Chewie. We're going to tell that story, how he met Chewie, and Chewie's not going to die. So it's like, I get it. It's like, there are moments in the movie where it's like not as suspenseful because it's like, they're not going to kill Han Solo. I mean, because it's a prequel.
I did try some Wookiee meat the other day, Dave.
You tried Wookiee meat?
Wookiee meat.
What is that? Wookiees aren't real?
It was chewy. Jokes on jokes on jokes.
I also saw that on the TADPOG Nation Facebook group.
Yep. I didn't know if I saw it on Reddit or the TADPOG Nation. They kind of bleed together. But I went in and they measured from my Because what was going on after all the medicine I've taken?
Did you ask them about the butt shelf when they were in there?
I thought about it for
you
a
should
second.
have. You should have asked them about the butt shelf.
But my urologist is kind of a, hey, what's up? Or not even a what's up. Just like, hey, this is the problem. Okay, I'm done. Bye. Like, no banter, no talk, in, out. Like, all right.
I wish he would have said what's up. Like he's like the Doogie Howser.
Show me your butthole.
Yeah, he's like the rude Doogie Howser.
Now let me shove this water camera in your pee hole again. There you go. Bye.
It's all good. You got wires come out? It's fine.
Yeah.
It's normal.
It's cool.
That's how we like it.
Everybody has it. But the nerves in my pelvic floor do not properly communicate with my brain.
What is a pelvic floor? I've heard that phrase used before.
I don't know all that well.
Okay.
I assume it's just like the inner part of your pelvis, but I don't know that for sure.
All right. But there's floor in there. That's what throws me off.
There's some flooring in there. Yeah.
Okay.
My subfloor, got to tear that shit up,
yeah.
put it back down. Your nerves are all fucked up in your subfloor.
Put some new drywall up.
Yeah. Drywall on the new pelvic floor.
Gotta wake my ass up at 5 a.m. Gotta install drywall on the new Tyler pelvic floor.
Motherfucker can't piss right.
So, how'd it go?
It was good. It was just kind of weird.
Can you piss right? Did you piss right?
I did. It did help. Because when I went in and he measured like where it should be, gave me 2 semi-painful shots to numb everything up, and then I couldn't see what was going on.
What did he measure?
The length of like my tailbone and parts of my butt, I guess, to know exactly how far to go.
What a job, right? What a job. Like, at what point is he like, man, I went to fucking medical school, and all I do is, like, measure butts.
I put stuff in dicks and touch butt shelves. But I've got more money than you'll ever see. So.
Yeah, it's true. And I am a doctor, so.
And at this hospital, we don't even have to be nice. We're universally known just for this to be a terrible department, but where else are you going to go? Not my hospital, by the way.
Yeah. Why didn't you go to your hospital?
Because before when I worked at
You're embarrassed about your tailbone?
Well, yeah. I don't want anybody I'm working with.
I get it.
I started this procedure whenever I was still working at that hospital. And that hospital, my insurance there required me to go to the hospital.
Okay.
So I just didn't want to have to. I figured I would have had to start over and have more stuff shoved in my dick. And I did not want to do that.
How does it feel leaving the hospital that you work at to go to another hospital?
Go to the competitor.
Right.
Well, when people that still know me see me walk in, dick doctor.
I'm here to cook, y'all. Just figured I'd volunteer today.
Yeah, just figure you guys. I know we're crushing you, so I'm just here. To see what you guys need.
I like that idea. Show up with a couple people and be like, "Look, we heard you're falling on hard times."
We're like Trump. We're tired of winning. We're here just to help you guys out. Because I'm not sure exactly if he cut it. I don't believe he cut into me. I believe it was like he just put lead.
You were numbed up.
Yeah, I was numbed up, and he put some kind of plastic lead down into the holes where he gave me the shot and ran what he said was like
lead,
a plastic part to like go down there to make it go smoothly down.
Okay,
so
a tube. He put a tube in you.
A tube with he said it was similar to guitar string.
Okay.
And he ran.
Well, shit, I got one of those at the house.
Could have just done that. Got a drill, straw drill, guitar string.
How much you pay this guy? Man, you want a guitar string in your butt? Just come over to my house. I'll do that shit real cheap.
Lawnmower batteries, fine. Make you piss lightning crap thunder. But it was weird because like I could feel something descending into my butt cheeks.
So it went into your cheek?
No, it went down, but I could feel it in my butt cheeks. So just like I felt it go slide into me down into my butt.
So where did it go? Like into your tailbone? Like where did it insert?
In
the hole?
It went in the no hole? Into my back.
Okay.
No, he made back in the middle of my back.
Okay.
And then ran it down my tailbone into my pelvis.
Oh, your pelvic floor.
My pelvic floor.
All right.
But I could feel the sensation like in my butt cheeks.
So it's okay. Because that's probably your butt cheeks weren't like all numb, and they were like the closest things.
Just the entry hole was numb,
right?
So he got it down there and was like, "All right, can you feel this?" And then I hear him turn on a battery that starts, and then I feel like a tapping in my butt cheek. He's like, "All right, is it going down?" Yep. Close to your hole? Yep. All right, let's do the other side.
So he was going to the no hole from the opposite way.
Yeah, he's getting there from the inside.
He was like gonna like loop it around, like pull it out of your butt.
Wrap it around that hole.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, now I got a Tyler lasso. I made myself a little half hitch.
And then he did it to the other side and made sure I could feel it around. Like, I'm sure it wasn't actually around all that stuff, but the feeling reference was like, is this tapping on either side of your butthole?
Which side of the butthole?
I was like,
is it like at the optometrist where he's
camera
like,
one, camera
yeah,
two?
yeah. Is he like, all right, better or worse? Click. All right, better or worse?
I've had that experience once. I need to go do it again.
Yeah, you're supposed to do that like yearly, I think.
Oh yeah, it's been a few years. Like
I normally
3 years.
I normally go every 2 years.
Yeah.
And I really need to go.
Oh, my glasses are broken too. So
they're broken.
Like they're wearable, but like the frames are bent up. And
what happened?
I think my prescription has changed. I don't know. I don't know.
All right.
I don't wear them super consistently. Oh, like I wear them to work when I have a lot of office work to do.
Yeah.
But other than
when
that,
you
I
want to
don't
look
wear 'em
smart.
a whole lot. Yeah.
All right, well, I am up for a promotion, so I'm gonna wear my glasses for a bit.
But
they're all bent up. I'm gonna wear them anyway. I look like I got these out of the dumpster.
Melissa's got a picture of it. Like I will post if anybody wants to see it. But they wound all sorts of tubes onto my back, taped me up, and taped a battery on the back of it. Put a big strap around my waist. It's like, keep all this on. You can't take a shower for 4 days.
My God.
If you want to, wipe off with some baby wipes, don't take a shower.
So how was that?
I mean, I was sick anyway, so just like laying here was fine. Yeah.
You were probably sick because of that. Yeah. Like when they were like,
that morning I was like, oh fuck, I feel like I have a fever. Yeah. I'm not waiting now, so fuck it.
Excuse me, doctor. I have a fever. Is that going to impair the battery strap on my back at all?
And then she gave me a smartphone and showed me how to adjust it was a smartphone that would work with the implant.
Yeah.
So that
What kind of phone was it?
A Samsung. Oh. So I'm not sure what kind. But
so you didn't give that back?
Oh, yeah. I gave that
so,
back.
Free phone.
I could pick which cheek and then turn it up, turn it down.
Seriously?
Yeah.
So what is I guess that's just where you feel your pelvic floors and your butt cheeks?
Well, I felt it for a little while and then the sensation went away.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what are the apps?
So then when I would turn it up, like if I felt like I needed something stronger, if like try to find out where I needed to be strength-wise for it to make a difference. And then they said, because these are built to go in really really easy and come out really easy. So you can't bend or twist so by the end of the 4 days, they had moved up.
By the end of the 4 days, you were absolutely horny as hell. Like, how did that work? Because I know you tried to have sex with this thing.
Oh no, I did have sex. I had sex like 20 minutes after I got home with a man. So
I'm numb, baby. Let's do this shit.
I asked her, like Melissa went with me, and I was like, "Can we have sex?"
And
yeah,
the doctor's like, now? Here?
Are you okay? Like, are you down?
Yeah. How discreet are you, doctor?
This does fall under doctor patient confidentiality.
Well, this is part of the Hippocratic Oath. I do have to have sex with you.
Yeah. I need you to watch me fuck my wife and like watch my butthole, I guess. See if anything's different.
Can you cry while I do it?
You and Melissa, both, please.
I can't climax unless everybody in the room is crying. I'm not allowed to go to the orphanage anymore.
Because I tell them I'm going to adopt them all. Then I start jerking off and say, nope, never mind.
Smooth move, man.
The most erotic episode of TV I've ever seen. Michael's Tots for the episode of The Office.
Yeah,
Scott's Tots.
The most cringeworthy episode of The Office ever, I think, is Scott's Tots.
Oh, yeah.
Not as bad on like a second viewing, but like the very first time watching Scott's Tots episode, like I feel like that is like the last great episode of The Office.
Yeah, I read an article on it on Reddit. I don't know why. I guess the television subreddit. Somebody had written a big article about like how this is one of the most beautiful, cringy episodes in television history.
That is like whenever someone tells me that they feel like the British Office is better than the U.S. Office, Scott's Tots is like the episode like that I go to because it is like, have you seen Scott's Tots? And they're always like, no. I'm like, well, watch Scott's Tots and then come back and tell me that the British Office is a lot more cringy. It is not.
Nope, not from that.
It is not.
Because let's see, And then I had to keep track of every piss and shit I took in a logbook to make sure it changed.
Did you keep, they can't include that in the app?
They should have.
I know shit,
been able to,
man.
do it electronically, but I just had to take it down on paper. And then, of course, over time, like the first few days, like immediate difference. Immediate. Like watched a whole movie and didn't have to get up. Like that never happens. So.
What movie was it?
Hotel Transylvania 3.
There's a third one of those?
Went to the drive-in to see it.
Oh, that's nice. You got to go to the drive-in.
Yep. Yeah, I drove all the way to the drive-in. I waited in line for food. I watched the movie. I drove home. Didn't have to pee the whole time.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
So when's the real one go in?
I go back next Tuesday, and I guess we'll probably set an appointment then.
And they're like, sorry, we're all out.
He's like, no, I wanted one more time to, get $40 more out of you, and then $40 more the next time, and then way more for a surgery.
He's like a drug dealer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, oh, you want one of these? Do you like that?
First hit of this electric guitar string in your butt's free.
It's free. Mm-hmm. After that, you're going to have to go to Dave's house and pay him $10.
Gotta go to a street doc. Get that in.
Shadowrun style. I'd love to be a street doc. No one expects good things. Like, that's got to be the best gig as a doctor, because it's like, no one really, there's like a 50% chance you're going to die.
It's like a Wasteland doctor in Fallout 4. That one doctor who's just wearing a coat. Are you a doctor?
Sure.
Do you have a degree? I have a theoretical degree in science. I'm trying to think what all. Because over time, though, I felt like I was in like the bladder version of Flowers for Algernon.
The bladder version of Flowers for Algernon?
When it first went in, it was amazing. Yeah. But they come out so easily. So every day they would come out a little bit more, and I can't like readjust them. So like,
what would come out? The wires?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like the amazing effects I had at first, like a little less, until like Sunday night I got to pee like 20 times in the night. So, but yeah, I've definitely been having the permanent one as soon as I can.
Well, good, man. I'm glad. Is that gonna like impair like anything that you can do?
I don't know. I guess I could put my ass on any more microwaves. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, I mean,
I might
TSA
have to,
gonna like you're gonna.
I'm curious about if I'll have to like have a card with me to say like I have.
You might, because like I know like a heart pacemaker is kind of an issue with like TSA and stuff.
Have you seen Nathan For You is back?
I've heard it's back, but I haven't seen any of it.
Melissa and I watched the whole fucking season.
Yeah. Is it on like Hulu or something?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Oh, it's so fucking good.
I've only seen the first season of Nathan For You. It's a really good show.
Because like that's one show. Like there are a few shows that I've showed to Melissa, and I'm surprised about how funny she thought they were. That's one of them. She fucking loved Nathan For You, and it ends in like a mini documentary where a weird guest from like the first or second season like keeps coming to their office this whole time and like hanging out with them, and they like just let him hang out. He's a nice guy, just a weird lonely dude.
Yeah.
And he's telling him his life story, everything as he comes in, and Nathan eventually like, I'm going to help this guy out. So he does a deep dive into this guy's history, and he talks about how his long lost love, he left her to go to Hollywood, but he just regrets that it happened. He's like,
I'm assuming it did not work out in Hollywood.
He was a Bill Gates impersonator.
Oh my God, this isn't real. That's like the thing about Nathan For You is like it gets to a point where I'm like,
is it real?
It's not, and that's why like a show like that, I feel like it like needs to last for like 6 episodes, and he needs to make a shitload of money off of it, and then it's over forever, and everyone's just kind of left like, wait, was that for real? Was that a real thing?
I could understand where like maybe there's been a few years between season 2 and season 3 to let shit die down.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Maybe, but
like, he was a Bill Gates impersonator.
They needed to hire Bill Gates impersonator for something that they were doing for a scam or whatever in season 1 or 2. So they hired this guy.
I think I remember that vaguely.
So it's that guy who just kept hanging at their office, and then like,
is it John Hodgman?
I wish it was John Hodgman. Shit. Eventually he's talking to that guy, and he says he went to Hollywood to do this and this and this, and Nathan's like, I thought you went to Hollywood to be a Bill Gates impersonator. And the guy's like, I did. Before we hired you to be a Bill Gates impersonator, had you ever been a Bill Gates impersonator? No. So it's just like this semi-sweet, semi-cringy thing of like trying to unite this guy with his long-lost love like 50 or 60 years ago. And he only like remembers like part of her name, and they have to like do all of Nathan's bullshit stuff to try to get into his high school. And like the last episode is like fucking brilliant of season 3. It's all hilarious, but that last episode is something special.
I'll have to watch it. I really like season 1 a lot, and I watched it a really long time ago. I think we mentioned it on the show when we were watching it because you told me about it.
Yeah, there's an episode where he wants to sell bootleg chili in this minor league hockey stadium, but they won't let him come in and sell it.
Who does? Nathan does?
Nathan, yeah. There's this guy whose his life dream is able to sell his chili in this hockey stadium.
This shit ain't real. Like there's no way.
Well, his restaurant is like themed with all this like minor league hockey team. I tried to get in there to sell it, but they don't have vendor space. I can't do it.
That's how they make it believable.
Nathan's like, I'm gonna help you. So he makes a chili suit. Like a fat suit that he fills with chili and has he's like, but it'll make the metal detectors go off. So then he fakes having a heart.
Why would it make the metal detector? What is in the chili?
Well, because he has to have like this pneumatic dispenser to dispense the chili out of his hands.
It's like Spider-Man?
Yeah, it's like a little tube and he spurts chili out of it. And then the other hand, he spurts like sour cream. And then his hat is like has a grater inside of it so that he grates cheese over it.
Oh God!
So he gets a note saying that he has a pacemaker. So they just pat him down and let him go.
Just pat him down. But sir, can you explain all this fucking chili you're wearing?
Well, and he has to go. He has to keep the chili up to food code.
I was going to say, how does he keep it hot?
So he has to heat the chili as well.
How?
But I forget how he keeps it hot. But he has to get this special thermal gel all over his body so it doesn't burn him. Because he tried just putting on the hot chili suit and it burned him all over his body. So it's just so when you said like the pacemaker thing, it made me think of that episode because that episode is also really good. And you see him going around just like mostly like little kids who don't know any better, and he's selling them chili out of his suit. And he goes back to the guy, I sold your chili. I made $23. Here you go. I'm going to give you the chili suits anytime you want to go sell your chili.
All right. That's all season 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Because I need to watch season 2 as well. Will I be lost?
No, I jump in at season 3? Oh, that's all I got then. Chili suits and bladder pacemakers.
We need to make a chili suit. $2,000 Patreon goal. That's probably how much it cost Nathan, right? $2,000.
Oh, I bet it's more than that.
All right, $4,000 Patreon goal.
$4,000. So we'll each need one and sell chili at TADPOG.
At the Louisville Arcade Expo. Hey, we're not even going to ask them if we can sell chili. We're just going to assume this is the Dave.
They just wouldn't let us.
Yeah, this is the Dave way. Where it's like, they won't let us do it. Fuck it. Let's circumvent it. Like, there's so many times. Hi, Internet. What's up? I'm Dave, your bespectacled host. And there are, like, so many times in my life where, like, I'll just assume that someone's not going to let me do something, so I will immediately start thinking of ways to work around it, only to find out, like, later, yeah, you should have just asked. Yeah. It would have been fine. Like, that's essentially my childhood summed up, because I always assumed that my dad would say no to something. So I would just take matters in my own hands and start working.
That's always what I hear from Choco Chica whenever she's discussing. Yeah, but you probably won't get to do that. Mm-hmm. Like every single time she ever gets an idea about something, no, I probably won't get to. I'll have to. Oh, you'll have to scheme. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, look, some of us just like to scheme. Sometimes we just like to scheme. Don't hate the player, man. You gotta hate the game. Real important news.
So they call you Lil Grifter when you were 8.
Little baby grifter.
Lil Grifter.
Real important news. I beat Star Fox this weekend. I've done it before, but I just wanted to share with everybody that I enjoy Star Fox, and I finished it.
We need to do Star Fox 2 at some point.
I know. I'd love to do Star Fox 2. I played on the SNES Classic, and in a weird way, I had to play Star Fox and beat it to prove to myself that I'm not going to die on the motorcycle that I am picking up in 2 days. I'm back on it. I'm back on it. You remember?
Go back to that class again that talked you out of it.
Right. Go back to the class.
Go back to that horribly scary class that you walked away like, fuck this.
Yeah, because it was like when I went to that class, that training course, which I'm not going to do again.
Good. Yeah. That's the smart thing to
do. Day one, all it was like a group of 20 people talking about how they've almost died on motorcycles.
Well, I don't want to die on a motorcycle, so I'm not listening to them anymore.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm picking it up Thursday. I am super excited. This fucking bike is awesome looking. It is, but
awesome looking.
Yeah, it is awesome looking because it's like if anybody listening to this rides a motorcycle, like I know that Link does.
Link sells motorcycles too, I believe.
Oh, I didn't know that. Anybody listening is gonna laugh. Anyone listening who rides is probably gonna laugh their ass off because like this is like baby's first. This is like baby's first motorcycle. It's a 1973 Honda CB 175. So it's a 175 cc engine. So like.
Mario Kart's only 150. So
Mario Kart 200 cc. There are karts in a Mario Kart that go faster than this motorcycle. This motorcycle is not allowed to go on the interstate, as I read in the safety manual that's issued by the state. It does not meet the requirements to go on the interstate. I can ride it to your house though, because I ride that on the highway. I am really
so it's like
super
a moped.
Excited. It's mopeds.
I've got a moped back there. I'll go ride with you.
Do you really have a moped?
There's one back there. Yeah.
Why haven't you ridden it?
It's an old one. It's just kind of a pain to get going.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to see you on a moped.
Oh, I used to ride them all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. My dad went on a thing like when I used to live at that dollar house. Like before I got my license, that's how I got around was the moped. Like I ride it to work when I worked at Chong's.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep. It looks the one that I had then. It's pretty similar to the one I have now. It looks sort of like Pee Wee Herman's bicycle.
The moped does? It looks like Pee Wee Herman's bicycle?
A little bit.
It's not a motorized bicycle.
No, it's a moped.
Okay. Those exist, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
This is a little bit like it's a little bit faster than a moped. Like it's street legal. I do need a permit and a license to ride it. You don't need that for a moped.
Okay.
But you do need a flag on a moped. I read in the driver's manual.
Oh, breaking the law.
So yeah, I'm excited. It is. It's old, but it is like in really nice condition. Like it looks really good. It's gonna suck to wreck it.
About to say, I'm gonna ruin that.
Yeah. So I'm going on Thursday to pick it up. It's like an hour and a half away. I've got a friend from work who's got a trailer. I was sweating how I was going to get it back because I'm not going to ride it back.
Ride it back, just like set your GPS to all back roads, see if you can make it home.
Yeah, exactly. I would have to because it's like I'm not going to go on the parkway because I don't even have my permit yet. So I saw the bike and I was like, you know what? If I don't get and this is serious, like I saw it and I fell in love with it immediately. And I was like, if I don't get a bike that I like, I'm never going to want to like learn.
Yeah.
And
I would have bought you a bike that you hated.
Yeah.
Here's your motorcycle, Dave.
Well, that's the thing. Like 3 years ago when I was looking at that other bike, I was fucking scared of that bike. It was a Shadow. And I mean, it was cool looking, but it's like, it kind of looked like a third evolution Pokemon or something. You know what I mean? It's like all like sleek.
And you would have had to have dressed as Shadow whenever you rode it.
Right, exactly. I've got the dog. I've got Interceptor. Might as well dress like Shadow. Clementine is coming to Dragon Con with me for my Shadow cosplay. But this bike is like you can see through it, which is neat because it's like, like the engine is so small that like you can see air around it.
It's all made of glass.
Right? Yeah. It's a glass bike.
Back when they made glass motorcycles in the 70s.
They're super expensive. You remember Honda's glass motorcycles? You don't see a lot of those anymore. Everyone turned their glass motorcycles in for the deposit, as it turns out. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully I don't die.
Yeah. Hopefully.
If I do though, like you got to promise me you'll find somebody else whose name starts with D and you'll continue on the podcast. So get looking.
Yep. Are you willing to change your name to David? Let me know.
Yeah. I think we should have a contest. Yeah. Are you willing to change your name to David and you donate $500 a month on Patreon?
Or if you're a quadriplegic, I'll just drive over and hook you up to the microphone.
You wouldn't do that.
That'd be great.
You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. You get tired of that shit real fast.
I would get tired, but I would still do it.
Like 2 years into it.
I would grow to hate you over it, but I would still do it.
2 years into it, you'd be like...
You would become my burden very quickly, but I would still do it.
2 years into it, you'd be like, I told you not to get that motorcycle.
And every time you choked on your food, I would stand up like, oh, is it happening? It's okay, Dave, go home. It's okay.
It's a weird... You're describing like the weirdest interpretation of misery.
Hey, this is a possible reality once you get on that motorcycle.
I've opened those doors, those future doors. So
those quantum mechanics come to be whenever you buy this motorcycle.
So I'm super excited, and hopefully I don't die.
Yeah, hopefully.
Also, so I missed Bit Brigade 2 years ago at TADPOG Prom. They are going to be in Nashville this Friday, which I know all these things I'm saying are very much dating this episode that we're doing on Castlevania Bloodlines eventually. Bit Brigade is going to be in Nashville this Friday at a place called Exit Inn. And if anyone's interested in going, I'm going to meet Edgelord Kyle there, and we're going to hang out, catch the show. That is Friday. What is that? I don't know.
Day after Thursday.
Yeah, right. Can someone please? What is Friday? I'm just practicing for the brain damage that I'm going to have in a couple months. I'll still do the show. I'm not going to be as sharp. It's not going to be as sharp as you're used to.
Then it'll be another Flowers for Algernon situation we're living through.
Yeah, except I never had the taste. So that is what? 8th, 9th, 10th.
No, put it into perspective. This is your taste.
Right. So if anybody wants to hang out,
it's all downhill from here once you buy that motorcycle.
This is the last okay episode of TADPOG you get. Everything else from
I'm
here.
going to miss how you look with skin. I remember Dave had the prettiest skin.
You remember that? No one has ever said that ever. So I'm not too worried about it.
You do.
Oh, well, thank you.
I've never seen a pimple on you.
Shit.
So
you just see
not on your face.
You just see the remnants.
I've never seen your back or your butt or your balls. So.
That's where all my pimples are. They're all on my
moles
balls.
and pimples. You look like a map.
I look like I'm sitting on some kind of sea urchin. But if anybody wants to meet up,
Nikki, you want some unagi?
She knows she does. If anybody wants to meet up in Nashville, I'll be there hopefully like around 7:00. And they're going to be playing Zelda. So I'm really kind of bummed out that I don't get to like catch one of their Castlevania shows because like that's what I really want to hear. Mm-hmm. But Zelda's fine. I just pissed off a lot of people. Yeah. Zelda's fine. If they were doing like...
You didn't piss off Drew Rowland.
Yeah, Drew's my boy. If they were doing like Link's Awakening, now we're talking.
They might have some in there.
Now we're talking. Especially Wart's part.
Yep.
That would be great. If they like had
Windfish theme.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
If they had a dude dressed up as Wart from Super Mario Brothers 2, that would be great. Maybe they let me in the band if I volunteer.
If they dressed the exit up like Wart and you have to throw turnips in his mouth to leave.
I would do it. I would throw turnips in my mouth.
Because what did Jacob tell me about? That he went to a show, like a group that did Mega Man covers. And while one of them dressed up as like Mega Man and whatever they were playing, and like they didn't mention it, Jacob just happened to like look behind him in time to see like Proto Man slip in the back and just sit there in the back looking at them scornfully.
That's it. That's all he did.
That was it. Like awesome. At the end, like he pointed up at them and then just like left.
Was he part of the group or was he just a guy who showed up to do that? Like, I like to think that they don't know that guy and he just follows them from show to show and just does that. And they're really worried. They're like, after the show, they're always like, I think one day that Proto Man guy is going to bring a gun. I'm really worried.
Well, technically, he is always bringing a gun.
Depends on how good the costume is. I have one more announcement. If I'm still alive by August 23rd at 11 p.m., I've been invited back to Drunk Games Done Slowly, which is a Twitch channel. It's a charity event. We're raising money for I always fuck this up, the World Wildlife Fund, where they like they just spend money to save animals.
Yeah, the real WWF.
Yes, which reminds me of like always like the
that Federation. It's one of those. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is it World Wildlife Federation or is it Always Find? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Sometimes a panda takes a folding chair and hits another panda with it.
That's why they're almost extinct.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not because
he knocks the fuck out of them and therefore they don't fuck anymore.
Right. They're like, ow, I'm definitely not going to have sex with you now. You broke my favorite fucking chair. Pandas eat, 2 things I know about pandas. They eat bamboo and they love aluminum chairs.
Yep.
So I'll be streaming Kabuki Quantum Fighter, a game that we talked about recently and a game that I fell in love with recently. I'm going to try to speed run it-ish. Not really speed run it because I will be drinking. And after that, I'll be playing Kung Fu. In case anybody doesn't remember, the last time I did this, I cleaned up beer off my desk with a sock that I had handy nearby. I'm not saying it's going to be like that good again, but if you want to show up, it'd be really cool. And if you want to follow the Twitch channel, it is DGDS Charity. DGDS Charity. And it's a big long stream. There's gonna be a whole lot of other people better than video games than me.
DGDS.
DG Drunk Games DS done slowly.
I was supposed to say
Charity.
Dave gets dick sucked.
Like I just point, like I pick out the dicks for people to suck.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, you get that one. All right, you get. Whoa, get back here.
You're the dick
you got
impresario.
that one.
You just make it
The
happen.
dick impresario. The dictator.
Nice.
I dress up like a potato. It's not funny, but I get a kick out of it. I always go.
Have just dildos all over you.
I show up to Mega Man concerts, and I yell out, "I'm the dictator!" Do you guys see Proto Man?
He's gone. He's pretty cool.
All right, no one's paying attention to me. I'm out. Anybody want me to tell you what kind of dick to suck?
I'm good at that. I'm good at that.
It's kind of my thing. No one. All right, see you. Did you change your mind? I'm back.
I picked one out for you.
I'm the dictator. Did I mention that? So I don't know. Maybe I'll dress up as Judge David for the Drunk Games Death Slowly stream.
Perfect.
It's not going to happen. But I tell you what, if it'll make you come out and watch, listener, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll judge games that I've already judged. Kabuki Quantum Fighter, not guilty. Pardoned.
Perfect. Love it.
Kung Fu, also still like it.
Still, yeah, it's still fine. Oh man,
You're really snucking over there. I hear you. That's really gross.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't do that anymore.
No, I don't.
It helped me though. I did it to make the noise.
Yeah.
But that helped me.
You about to do a little Kentucky handkerchief?
Oh, maybe. I didn't do a sock yesterday because I couldn't really get up and go anywhere. Not yesterday, but the weekend.
That is the only time I think that someone might be disappointed that it's not dried up man love inside of a sock.
Oh, it's no.
Oh, you hocked a loogie in here.
Yep.
I really wish you would have. I really, really, really wish you would have rather come in this thing.
But you hear that, Dave?
I do. I hear Bella,
It's
your
Bella
dog,
barking.
which I don't know if the mic's picked up or not.
Yeah,
I hope it did.
You might have heard a dog.
Bella, she just wants to chime in and let us know how she feels about socks.
She's like, you miss my friend, Nana's dogs?
I do hear that, which ushers in a segment that we like to call Dave Reads from Wikipedia. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, guys. Castlevania, Bloodlines is a platform game developed and published by Konami for the Sega Genesis. It released worldwide in March 1994. It was a late boy. It was the only Castlevania video game released on the Genesis. The game's storyline concerns a legendary vampire named Elizabeth Bartley, who is Dracula's niece. I don't know how that works out.
Yeah, that's all right.
Even Alucard is kind of like one of those where it's like, how did that happen?
And I guess you could do it if, like, the same vampire who turned Dracula also turned somebody else, so they're brothers, and then his brother turns somebody. Well, that's his niece.
That's some weird-ass genealogy.
That's your vampire niece.
Dude, vampires have DNA, do you think? Like, could you like swab a vampire's cheek and like send it into a lab to be like, oh man, you're related to Benjamin Franklin.
Well, in Twilight they can reproduce. So
Well,
I mean that's I'm pretty sure Twilight and Castlevania are in the same universe.
Have you seen the Twilight movies?
Yeah.
You've seen them?
I've seen the movies, and I've read the books.
Which is better, the books or the movies?
I'd say they're about on par.
They're both about the same?
Yeah.
Both not good?
They're not as awful as everyone cracks them up to be, but, I mean, they're kitschy romance books.
Better or worse than the Castlevania series?
Oh,
tough call.
Yeah, really tough. I like the sparkle. That's how vampires are meant to be. You know,
the sparkle
vampires,
like Dazzler. I don't know. What do you mean by sparkle?
They don't actually like burst into flames in sunlight.
Yeah,
they sparkle like diamonds.
So that sounds like a good thing.
So they stay out of the sunlight so they can blend in.
Can they live in the sun?
Yeah.
They just sparkle?
They just sparkle.
Oh, dude, that'd be fucking badass, man.
And their skin is basically as hard as diamond as well.
It sounds like a win-win.
Yeah. They're the best case scenario vampires.
Seriously, the sun doesn't kill them?
Yeah, seriously.
Like, they can stay out as long as they fucking want in the sun. It doesn't kill them.
Yep.
They just turn to diamonds?
They just don't look human.
So essentially...
And then, like, the ruling vampire council will then kill them because they've revealed themselves. These vampires are secret.
They're essentially the White Queen, then. They
look like, because you see where there's a segment where Edward, he steps into the sunlight and he plans to commit vampire suicide by stepping out into the sunlight in a crowd full
and they're
of
like,
people.
you idiot, that won't kill you. It'll just make you turn to diamonds.
Yeah, you'll just look really pretty, but then piss off all the super powerful vampires that will then kill you.
Oh, it pisses the vampires off? Other vampires when they do it? Why?
The ruling council, because it outs the vampires as something different.
I thought it had something to do with inflation.
Then they'll be hunted and a whole bunch of, whatever.
Cost of diamonds.
Because reasons.
Yeah, these sound great.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
I saw one of them with Nikki, and she never saw another one, and it was probably because I was like, this is really bad. Like, this is so bad. You can watch them if you want, obviously, but I will be making fun of you, like, for sure. Like, if I walk through the room and you're watching it, get ready for it, because it's going to suck.
I mean, I've seen much worse movies than the Twilight movies.
Name
they're not
one.
Great.
Pixels.
Patreon.com/TADPOG.
Patreon.com/TADPOG. We just talked about Pixels, the Adam Sandler movie. We talked about it with #MoreMiller.
Yeah, we did.
Thank you for explaining Twilight to me. I think I'm going to stay away.
I don't know. I think it'd be a pretty good Patreon series.
What's better, Twilight or Harry Potter? About the same? All right, moving on.
About the same. You're right.
Elizabeth Bartley is Dracula's niece, and she suddenly appears in the 20th century. She's plotting a sacrificial war in order to bring her uncle back to life. She orchestrates the beginning of World War I. You thought it was Franz Ferdinand.
No,
Archduke. Not.
No. Dracula niece, Elizabeth Bartley.
That's it. AKA Germany. Let's see. Quincy Morris's son, John, and his best friend, Eric, Alucard, Alucard, not Alucard, Alucard, vow to take up the fight against evil. Together, they managed to prevent Dracula's full resurrection. Well, I guess that depends on the player's ability.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks. We got a quiz?
Yeah, we do have a quiz, but we're not going to do it.
Nah. I think you've probably had enough Bloodlines talk.
Yeah.
We don't want to overwhelm you.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Hey.
What's up?
I liked this game.
I like this game a lot, too.
It's a very good game.
So you want to get right into the how much we liked it? Yes or no?
Yeah.
All right.
It's up to you.
I have a question for you.
All right. Did you like it?
Tyler, did you like this game? Tyler, would you rather play Castlevania Bloodlines or have a chili suit for which you could dispense chili?
I would rather have my chili suit on so I could spurt chili to my mouth while I play Bloodlines.
You can only choose one.
Oh.
This is like Henry. When I talk to Henry, and it's like you have two options. You can either play Castlevania Bloodlines or go to timeout. Which option would you like to choose? I really like this game too. I thought it was great. My question to you is going to be, which game do you think is better? Which 16-bit Castlevania game do you think is better? Super Castlevania 4, which we talked about. We've covered that a long time ago. That was on IGN's top 100 list. Or Castlevania Bloodlines, a game that did not even appear on Digital Trends top 25 Sega Genesis games.
Which is bullshit.
I agree, man.
Which is I think it is a top 10.
This game is way better than Jurassic Park: The Lost World for Sega Genesis. Like, it's way better than that game.
better than Dune. Like, it's
way better than Dune.
Yeah. Moonwalker, it's pretty close.
Ooh, yeah. Kid Chameleon, pretty sure that game wasn't on the list. We did that for Barbecue Bear Drew. Still better than it, though. So, which between Super Castlevania 4 and Bloodlines, what's your ruling?
Super Castlevania 4.
Really?
Yep.
I'm on the other side of that fence.
Yeah.
I replayed a little bit of Super Castlevania 4 just because I wanted to be able to compare it a little bit. Mm-hmm. I would much rather play Bloodlines.
Bloodlines is a more efficient platformer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like Super Castlevania 4 is more classic Castlevania, and Bloodlines is sort of a revamped take, like a more action platformer, like better platformer.
Why do you say that?
Because I know Super Castlevania 4 does have sort of the tropes of the Castlevania of like this slow movement, the big knockback, the long wind back with the whip. Mm-hmm. They're more... I feel like it's more difficult with the environments. I feel like they're a lot more different. There are cool challenges with the Mode 7 they do.
Yeah, sure.
In Super Castlevania 4. And that's
I like
what,
the Mode 7.
I feel like they're both very, very good games.
Yeah, sure.
But the uniqueness at which they approach it in 4 is what pushes 4 a little bit more over for me.
See, I think I like Bloodlines because it feels faster to me.
It is much faster.
The sprites are smaller.
Yep.
And like in Super Castlevania 4, like everything seems
You're fucking big.
large and slow. Almost like
slow,
Altered Beast
crouching
style.
And,
you know?
Yeah, you're not wrong. It is a much slower game.
But Bloodlines seems faster, and I like that. Mm-hmm. You can choose to play as John Morris.
It's very cool that you can pick between two people.
Who wields Vampire Killer, the whip, or you can play as Eric Alucard, who wields, I guess, Alucard's...
It's a mistranslation. It's supposed to be Alucard's spear.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's really neat.
That's the only other weapon. Like, it had to be something that's Alucard's for it not to function, like... Because that's like the Vampire Killer is like... has the power to eliminate Dracula.
Right,
so it
sure.
kind of has to be that.
Right.
So the only other thing I can see for them to rationalize to use is something that Alucard has made. So
that makes sense. John Morris, a descendant of the Belmonts, to me kind of looks like Terry Bogard. Without the hat, like they just like took the hat off of him.
Trucker hat.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, what would Terry Bogard look like in 1912? Because I think that's like when was World War I? When did that start?
It was like around that time.
Yeah, okay. We're probably both wrong, but
it was early 1900s. Yeah.
And I think that's cool. I think that's a cool setting for Castlevania as well. But anyway, like John Morris, Terry Bogard, he's from Texas.
Texas.
He's from Texas. He was born, they give you his birthday, which I think is very interesting, December 12th, 1895.
Okay.
So you can choose to play as him, or you can choose to play as Eric Alucard. Mm-hmm. And he's from Segovia, Spain, and he was born on May 3rd, 1892. He is older, so therefore he is more powerful, and the game is much easier playing as him.
Yeah. That way, if we were to do this game, but with you and I instead, you'd be more powerful because you're older than me.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I also think, I was going to ask you this question.
And you look like you're from Spain, I look like I'm from Texas, so it's fine.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm 100%. I think, I was going to ask you, like, all right, you got to choose which one are you? You're John Morris. You're John Morris for sure. You're John Morris for sure. And I'm Eric Alucard. Well, look, we both agree on this, so it's fact.
Yep.
I think it's cool that you can play as either character.
That could be our cosplay next year.
Just around the house.
Yeah.
Go to the bowling alley. hang around the closed circus skate dressed up as a...
If it ain't old John and Eric back again.
Hey, you guys know who we are? A couple douchebags?
We'll give you a hint. We killed Dracula in 1912.
We stopped World War I.
You know why you only hear about World War II? Because we stopped World War I.
You know why the History Channel's not obsessed with World War I? Well, remember they were obsessed with World War II for a bit in the early 2000s, and now they were obsessed with like World War II and Hitler, and now I guess it's all like aliens. What is on the History? I don't even know what's on the History Channel anymore. Like in 2008-ish, I think is where Nikki and I cut the cord, and at that point they were talking about were fucking extraterrestrials and like Close Encounters.
Well, they just got to go with what gets views. So
I get it, but like at some point, like change the fucking name of your channel to like the Alien Channel.
Oh man.
Did you play as both characters?
I did. I played as both characters. I beat it as both characters.
So what are the main differences between the two?
Well,
and I do want to point out that you use save states.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Because this game is fucking hard.
I am not above using save states.
You man, we were talking about this game, and you were like, man, this game is fucking easy. Yeah. I'm like, all right, that's great. And you're like, you should play as John Morris because it is much more challenging as him. I was like, okay. And then I got into it, and I was like, you know what? I want to experience this game as both characters. So I'm going to start as the easy one and play as Eric Alucard. 6 hours later, I'm like, well, I finally beat that game, and it was fucking hard, so I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to play as John Morris a lot. So I played as him a very little bit.
Yeah, because I just use, go into a boss, save state. Okay, lose, start back over right where I was.
That makes the game easy.
It does. It makes the game much easier.
You're smart.
Because I do that. I know some people probably gripe about that, but I want to be able to play the game, all of the game I can in the short amount of time that I have.
I get it. The only reason I wanted to point it out was because I think when you do it that way, it skews how you feel about the difficulty of the game.
I think
for sure.
Yeah.
And it's and I know that because you told me it was easy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that it was because you get to try the boss, you die, you get to try him immediately again.
Because I went through, after I did this, I meant to play Vampire Killer, which is essentially Castlevania 2, but I played the wrong version and ended up beating Castlevania, the original Castlevania for the Nintendo disk drive.
For the Famicom?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And that was, even though I used save states on that, it's much harder.
Yeah. Much harder than Castlevania for the NES.
Yeah.
That's more exploratory, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
But because Eric, because they each have, the big things, of course, different weapons.
Right.
Eric has a lot more reach.
Right. The spear's crazy reach.
He's not as powerful.
Oh, is that right?
Right, yeah. Oh, John hits much harder.
I didn't know that because almost everything in this game that's not a boss dies in one hit.
Yeah.
So, there are a few enemies that take multiple hits, but they're very few and far between. So it's I'm assuming John, when he fights a boss, you have an easier time with it, or?
Yeah, I think so because Eric's a little more agile. He doesn't hit as hard. He has more reach. He has a super jump.
Yes.
Which makes a big difference.
The super jump is amazing. Mm-hmm. I learned this late in the stream. It turns out Drex, I know I've mentioned him before on the show. Shout out to him because he speedruns this game, and he showed up around the time I was having a really hard time with this game, which was level 5, which is the Palace of Versailles. We'll get to that eventually. But he taught me that that super jump, you are invincible the entire time.
You do it.
The animation starts to finish, you are invincible. You can go through, if a projectile is fired at you, it'll go right through you, not a problem. Mm-hmm. And once I learned that, it was then this is definitely how I'm going to beat every boss from here on out because I'm going to abuse this invincibility because this game is fucking hard.
Yeah, John has that same thing, although it's not as versatile because you can do super jump wherever, whenever. John has the same thing, but it's whenever he lassos something with his whip and swings across. Uh-huh. He can do that. There are sections where you can keep doing that and go over the whole stage, but it's very rare that you can do that.
So it's kind of like Super Castlevania 4 style with the whip swinging and stuff like that, but it doesn't have the limp whip physics that 4 had. Right,
and you can't lengthen and extend, that much like you can. It's a big thing in 4. It's way more technical in 4.
Well, in 4, there are clear points that you can
the bat hooks
swing from, right? But in this game,
it's just certain pieces of terrain.
Yeah, I never knew what I could hook to and what I couldn't hook to. And there are certain points in each level, I feel that are designed for one character or the other. You have to
either go one way or the other once you hit that point.
So while John is swinging, he's invincible. That's nice too. Okay, cool. I didn't know
that. Let's see. And from what I read, that's the more efficient speed running is with Eric because the jump lets you bypass a lot of things and clear it much faster. I know John has the same thing where they have the hidden third stage of your weapon.
Yeah.
Where with Eric, it has the green flame on the end.
Right. You got to get a book, a spell book. Mm-hmm. Once your weapon is, I guess it has to be fully powered up, and then you get the spell book.
Then you get the spell book.
And it catches on fire.
It'll do that.
But it's fine. It doesn't hurt you.
If you hit 30 candles in a row without hitting a sub-candle weapon, then you get it.
Oh, really? I didn't know that part.
I didn't know that until today.
And what's really cool is...
And you get the special sub-weapon.
Right. The special sub-weapon is awesome.
Yep. I wrecked a few bosses with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I never saw John's, but Eric's is essentially like he turns into Magus and casts a spell that like everything explodes.
It looks like White from Final Fantasy IV.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. What is John's?
I feel like John's was his whip looks like it's made of light, and I think he has the same sub weapon.
Oh, really? They have the same sub weapon? Okay.
I could be wrong because I blazed through because I already knew where I was going when I played through as John. So my much longer playthrough was as Eric. Once I played through as John, it was just like the game went very, very quickly. I knew exactly where I was going.
I got to play as John like a very little bit. I went through like the first 3 stages with John off stream, but I like did that on my lunch break.
Yeah.
So I wish, and I'm kind of tempted to go and play through the entire game as John eventually, but I'm probably not going to do it anytime soon.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I really like this game, and I honestly I think that it is. There's so many things about this game that kind of reminded me of later Castlevanias, and I think it's because like on the Genesis, like this game is gory, dude. Like this game is gory, and I liked it because it's like this game felt like it had that like hard edge to it because like there's. Like the very beginning of the game, it starts out the first level is Dracula's castle in ruins. And you've got like half of corpses like hanging from the ceiling, like dripping blood. You've got like enemies that like the zombies you encounter in the very beginning of the game have flies and stuff coming off of them. Like it's stuff that I'd like wouldn't expect to see on on the Super Nintendo.
Right, yeah. PlayStation is the only other time I could think where you see stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And because of that, it kind of like almost immediately reminds me of like Symphony of the Night or something like that.
Yeah. It plays much more like Symphony of the Night compared to like Castlevania 4.
It's not exploratory though. Fortunately, I like the linear platforming experience a lot more than like the exploring, leveling up, that kind of stuff. I was thinking about why. Like the other day, I was like, why do I like games like the early Castlevania games better than the later Castlevania games? And honestly, I think it's because I don't like the fact in Symphony of the Night. I love Symphony of the Night, but I do feel like if I just play that game forever, I'm eventually going to beat it. I don't feel like
you could level up enough, get strong enough.
Yeah, just farm stuff. Like I don't feel that in Bloodlines, I don't feel like that. I feel like I'm either like going to develop the skills to get to the game or I'm not.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I prefer the older style.
That. Yeah.
But it's still like the gameplay of the newer like Symphony of the Night and stuff like that. Because it's the same gameplay.
Whenever we get to the GBA game Castlevania, it's like I'm very excited about those. I love those so much. But let's see. And then John he's not as agile. There's no super jump. He just has the whip. I don't feel like he moves quite as fast, but he hits much harder.
He doesn't feel like it. Like I don't know what their speed like actually is in comparison, but he does feel like he's slower. It might just be his animation because like he walks like with his shoulders essentially. Like every time he moves, like
he's Texas, man.
Yeah, he's Terry Bogard.
Yeah. But especially once you get that whip fully powered up, like you'll mow through bosses. Yeah, he hits like a fucking truck. So, I really like the mini bosses and the bosses. Like, I feel like the stages were done well, the bosses were done well. Like, I thought this was, every now and then, more than any other series, like, that we play a lot, I jones for a Castlevania game. And this was a very satisfying one to play.
I liked it a lot, yeah. I liked the mini bosses, because, like, every stage has a mini boss and then a final boss. Some stages have more than one.
Yeah.
And the bosses are great. The bosses are designed, for the most part, the bosses I think are wonderful. There are, like, for instance, like you start out, the first level is the ruins of Dracula's castle, and the mini boss is like a hellhound, which is like
half rotted that just crawls out to you.
Yeah, it's this wolf that like has like an electric charge, and he will howl, and you're fighting him like in front of all these windows looking out onto like the Dracula's courtyard or whatever. And when the wolf howls, the glass shatters, and like you have to dodge the glass or it'll hurt you. It's cool stuff like that. They're not like straightforward boss fights for the most part. And then like after that, you fight this giant suit of animated armor that it's a pretty straightforward fight. And like it's great because it's like at the very end of level 1, you climb those iconic stairs to Dracula's room. And it's like, that's a cool feeling. And it's like happening at the beginning of the game. So it's like, and that also kind of reminded me of Symphony of the Night a little bit, where it's like, I'm doing this shit a little bit out of order, kind of, sort of, you know? And like climbing up those stairs is such a good feeling. And then you see, like, you get to Dracula's room and you see Dracula's coffin and it's open in the background. And there's this animated suit of armor that you're fighting. And like, as you're fighting it, pieces of the armor are falling off. Like, you hit it a certain number of times and it's like one of its arms holding its weapon like flies off, and then he like starts trying to kick you, and then eventually you just disassemble it from just hitting it over and over again. It's cool. Like, it's really cool boss design. It's like it's refreshing, you know.
100% agree. And then I love getting the orb at the very end, getting that health refill and good stuff.
Yeah. And that's also once level 1 is done, you start traveling around the world. Because what's happened is Elizabeth has contacted the forces of darkness.
Called them up.
Yeah, just hit them up. They're all over Europe, and they are working together, joining forces to resurrect Dracula. So it kind of diverges from the regular Castlevania formula, where you're not just in Dracula's castle. You're not just in Transylvania, making your way to his castle and then through his castle. You are kind of globe-trotting. Like, you're trying to find Carmen Sandiego. And where in Europe is Dracula, essentially?
Where is Elizabeth Bartley?
Elizabeth Bartley, by the way, not a bad looking vampire. Pretty good looking anime vampire countess. You get to see her at the very beginning of the game, and something that I really liked is they went back to that like film strip style that you see like in Castlevania 1, where you see like, I don't know what the edges of film is called, where it like feeds through the rollers or whatever, but like you see that as it's giving you the opening cinematic for the game. Which is very cool. The opening cinematic is great. It like utilizes a bunch of like parallax scrolling and stuff like that, which they use in the level design too, which is cool.
Yeah.
So you leave Dracula's castle, and then you wind up in Atlantis, Greece.
Ugh.
Didn't I like this level?
I mean, anything to do with water I'm not crazy about, but because there's the one part where you're ascending as the water level's rising.
It's rising. And if it goes over your head, you do start drowning.
Yeah, you're dead. I did find a little trick, though, because once you hit the top, there's apparently like a water mage.
Yeah.
And
he's the mini-boss.
Yeah, he teleports back and forth.
I just thought he was a druid. Just like...
That makes sense, too.
Casting a flood spell.
But he won't teleport unless you're facing him. So the speedrunner trick that I saw was to rush over to that corner and turn your back. And if you're Eric, you could have your back to him, but you still hit him when you do your spear thrust up, and you just mow through him.
Cool. Something I noticed with Eric's his jump attack, his dragoon attack, because that's what it reminds me of like Cain or something from Final Fantasy IV when he leaps up with that spear. He will end that animation facing the opposite direction that he started. You talking about like that teleportation trick kind of made me think about that, which is kind of a pain in the ass sometimes because it's like I realized that dawned on me when I was fighting a boss and I did the jump and then wanted to attack immediately, and then of course like just attack to the complete wrong side of the enemy.
Let's see, and then there are these other two big suits of armor that have like a flail and an axe, but you can like edge clip the one with the flail. Like if you use your sub weapon as soon as you clip in, he'll despawn and the other one shows up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that was another speedrunner's trick.
I like all the level design. Like I think it's really neat. Like one thing that I like about them taking the game to different locations is the enemies make sense in the levels that they're in. Like it always kind of felt weird to me in the earlier NES Castlevania games where it's like there are a whole bunch of like monsters from like a whole bunch of different...
You're in the clock tower? Well, of course you're going to fight the mummy.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But it's like it makes sense that like in Greece, you're going to fight minotaurs. Because it's like Greek mythology. Like this is like, okay, this makes sense. I like this.
And there are all sorts of ruins of like Acropolis and statues and stuff.
Right, like exactly. And it's like the level's interactive. Like at one point you have to attack, you're walking on a giant statue and you have to attack the head for it to like cut and slide down so you can like walk over it.
Yeah, move
and, like,
columns like that.
Yeah,
so you can jump onto.
It's fucking neat. And like minotaurs will like grab a nearby column and like break it off and use it like as a baseball bat. Like it's really like a lot of thought and care went into the design of the enemies. Absolutely. I think that's really, really neat.
Yeah. What's after that?
The golem.
Oh,
yeah, the golem
probably my least favorite boss.
The golem is a boss. He looks like the
some of these bosses do remind me, and this one in particular remind me a lot of Gunstar Heroes.
Yeah, like, absolutely.
If I would, it's not the same studio, but I wouldn't have been surprised if you told me.
I'm not positive. I could be wrong, but I do think that Treasure, who made Gunstar Heroes, well, again. That's off the top of my head. I'm not positive this is correct, but I think Treasure was started by ex-Konami employees.
Ah, okay. See, that makes sense.
I don't know if they worked on Bloodlines. Like, Bloodlines was kind of late. I feel like Treasure probably was around before 94, but I'm not positive. But I'm pretty sure that Treasure was started by Konami, ex-Konami employees. Yeah. The Golem... it kind of looks like the Golgothan from Dogma.
Yeah, only made of hamburger patties,
right? Yeah, he's Dave Thomas in hell. like if Dave Thomas did some like real, like he broke a bunch of fucking commandments we didn't know about, like wound up in demon form.
If he had made round patties instead of square patties.
He went against God's will when he made square. The man turned cows into squares. You just don't do that. There's no 90-degree angle on a fucking cow. What possesses a man?
Art thou God, David Thomas?
You know what the problem with Dave Thomas was? He was too busy asking himself how and didn't stop to ask whether he should or not.
We made Cancer Airborne. We made square hamburgers.
So the golem is like, the golem reminded me of the Pokies from Super Mario Brothers 2, the cactuses in the desert levels where you have to like pull off they're like stacked up. You know.
Yeah, he looks like he's a bunch of hamburger patties stacked up with arms and a head.
And an eye on the top.
Yeah, but you can't, the eye is really tall, so you got to knock off the hamburger patties first.
Right, exactly. So you got to like chip away at all the hamburger patties until his eye is in reach. I kind of think he's called a golem or a golem, however it's pronounced. But there is like, he's a cyclops. Like that's what makes the most sense because it's all Greek. Like... It bummed me out at the end of the game because like they name all the bosses and stuff, and when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, he's not a fucking Cyclops," because like, he should totally be a Cyclops. He's got one eye, Hamclops. He's not a Burger Boy.
Burger Boy with an eye.
I thought this motherfucker was a one-eyed Burger Boy. So yeah, once you like knock all his hamburger meat off of him, you just stab him in the eye a couple times.
Dave Thomas's bastard.
That's his, yeah, he built this. He built this Cyclops in a lab.
Wendy's gotten too strong. You'll destroy her. Hamclops.
That was like the best fucking like, that was great. That's like, you like...
Avenge me, Hamclops.
You invoked Patton Oswalt for a minute. Avenge me, Hamclops. You got your bone golems. You got your iron golems. You got your flesh golems. You got your hamburger golem. That's like some Monster Manual 7 kind of shit.
You're damn right it is. Born from evil necromancy and slaughterhouses, the hamburger golem.
Avenge me, Hamclops. You're Dry Tubs, I'm Hamclops. Deal?
Okay.
I'll take one of my eyes out. I'll lose it naturally on the motorcycle, so it's going to work out.
Fill that hole full of hamburger.
Anybody want to touch my ham hole? You know hamburgers aren't made of pigs, right, Dave? What? So once you beat Hamclops, you move on to my second least favorite level in the game, the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah.
It's a tough level, I think. There's a segment, like most of the game, most of that level is like vertically moving through. It's vertical platforming. You're just moving up and up and up the tower. Yes. Naturally Medusa heads. And it's like, the reason I don't like that stage is because that whole stage design, every section of it is essentially built to just like have enemies knock you off to your death. Mm-hmm. And it's like the knockback is real in this game, like it is in every Castlevania game. Like an enemy hits you and you like fly back. Like it's like you're getting punched by the Hulk and you're flying back. And there's like a segment in it where you're like that segment you're talking about, like with the Medusa heads that are trying to knock you off. It's kind of got like they're trying to do like this Mode 7 thing, where it's like the tower is kind of moving, like swaying back and forth at like a 30-degree angle on either side. Dig Dougie was watching me play this on Twitch, and I fucking loved the fact that they called it Mode 3.5. Like that stuck with me. I was like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good Genesis Dig. Then once you make it to the top of that, there are these tiny platforms that you have to jump from. There's a whole bunch of them that like kind of go around the tower.
Yep.
And these bone gargoyles swoop in and try to knock you off.
Yep.
It's kind of a nightmare.
Like you need to have plenty of sub-weapon.
Yeah,
which your
the
sub-weapons
boomerangs
vary too, because you have like a traditional way to use it, and then you can press up and have like the alternate way to use your sub-weapon.
Which I thought was really cool.
It was very cool.
And I figured out way too late in the game, like the last level. I'm like, oh, they hold up and use a special weapon? It's different. That's cool. Because it's like the boomerangs, you instead of throwing one boomerang like you normally would, you throw like 3 of them. And the same with the axe, because like the axe is a sub-weapon in this game.
Instead of one arc, it's
3 of them that like don't go in an arc. They kind of go like straight forward. And like as far as the sub weapons go, you have like most of your normal stuff you'd see in a Castlevania game. The axe, the holy water. You've got, I guess that might be it, because I can't.
Holy water and boomerang.
I can't think of another one that I picked up. The special sub, yeah. And then you've also got like the stage or the screen clearing items, which in this game is a mirror. And then there's the book, which like instantly powers up your weapon. And one thing that I think is really neat is I guess because it was a Genesis game and they were like, you know what, this game has never been on this platform before. We're going to change it to make sense. Kind of like, because like in Castlevania games as a kid, it would always it never made sense to me that I collect hearts as ammunition. In this game, you collect rubies as ammunition. I always think that hearts should be life, not ammo.
Yeah.
So they changed that up, and you use rubies instead of hearts. But other than that, mechanically, it's identical.
Yep.
Those rubies, you spend those rubies to use your sub weapons.
And I never really. So I would run out a lot in other Castlevanias, but I feel like I never had any problem keeping my sub weapon full.
I didn't use sub weapons a lot. I did regular. I did like regular Dave style, where it's like hold on to these fucking rubies and sub weapons as long as possible.
I probably used the axe more than anything else.
The axe is, I imagine, a lot handier as John Morris, because he doesn't have that sweet like attack up.
Yeah.
That Eric has. The boss of the Leaning Tower of Pisa is a gigantic stone gargoyle, which the first time I fought him,
that boss was
the first few times, very, very difficult. But he has tricks. Like there are tricks that you can use against him. Like there's this part in his attack cycle where he like flies to one side of the screen. You are on top of the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah, your mobility is very limited.
Right, and it's rotating too, by the way. So like it's constantly moving you, kind of like a conveyor belt.
Yeah. So you have to stay in the middle, so you're limited in how much it's throwing you around.
Yeah, and this stone gargoyle is big, and he is flying around from either side, and he's got this attack animation where he'll fly to one side of the screen and he'll just throw rocks at you. He'll throw like 3 rocks and they're really hard to dodge. What I learned later on in a later fight, we'll get there probably, is if you just keep attacking him, he will not go into that animation. Like as long as you just stay the fuck on him constantly, he will go into his last form, which is like he just bounces.
His like go ahead and kill me form.
Right, yeah. Exactly. When he dies, he sounds like a tiny elephant doing a Wilhelm scream. It's the fucking best. The first time I heard it, I was like, was that a Wilhelm scream in a Castlevania game? It sounds very much like it. If I can find, I may clip that and post it in the show notes. I probably won't.
But you might. There's a chance.
But I might. There is a chance. 5% chance. It's essentially like rolling a 20. In the D&D game.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to get home and roll 20. If it comes up 20, I'll post it in show notes.
All right.
Otherwise, I'm not doing it.
I'll take that.
Once that's done, you go to a munitions factory in Germany.
That was a little weird.
It is a little weird, but I get they wanted to like put that World War I. They wanted to remind you, hey, World War I.
Hey, we're 500 years past the last Castlevania. Come on.
Right. Yeah, and it does because it is
These
like
skeletons, they got helmets on.
They're in oil barrels. Yeah. We're including things just to remind you that this is the 20th century that we're in. There are skeletons popping out of oil barrels, throwing bones at you. And then this is kind of like your classic clock tower stage, really, because it's like a whole bunch of gears.
All the gears. They're big ones, small ones that you have to jump from knob to knob.
Yeah. And like conveyor belts and pistons and a bunch of sections.
Like where there are enormous pistons that squash you from automatic death.
Yeah, as you're vertically scrolling. Other than that, honestly, like this, when I was playing Stage 4, it kind of reminded me of when we were talking about Kabuki Quantum Fighter, where it felt like the levels weren't really like on this even curve because like Stage 4 felt so much easier than Stage 3.
Yeah.
And it's because there wasn't as much a possibility for instant death in Stage 4.
Yeah.
The main boss of Stage 4 is, I think, possibly the worst boss in Castlevania history.
It's straight up like this is a Gunstar Heroes boss. 100%.
And that's what Drex said too. I don't remember this from Gunstar Heroes. What the boss looked like to me was a fighter from Balls 3D.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, you're right.
Because it is like just made up of gears and it's just like all like wibbly wobbly.
Oh man, it's a gear elemental. Fuck.
Exactly. Yeah, it is like a bunch of gears like got caught in a human-shaped typhoon or something. And it's like, I get it.
It's changing shapes, to look like other
reconfiguring
things.
itself, and it's like
it's not a great boss.
It looks horrible. Like it really looks bad. It's not that it looks horrible, it just looks way out of place for a Castlevania game.
I feel like this level does feel like shoehorned in. Like, oh, we got to make it some time period appropriate.
Ah, shit, we forgot about the World War I angle. Oh, God. Germany level?
Factory? Yeah, all right, factories.
How do we let them know that they're German soldiers? Just a helmet.
Helmet.
Done.
Like with the spikes on top? No, not yet.
Yeah, right.
Save something for Wolfenstein. All right.
And this level also has, as I believe Bovine Bear Matt Cowan put it, Frankenstein's monster's monster. The tallest version of Frankenstein ever. It's like Frankenstein on stilts. And he's like, his weapon is like a yo-yo. Do you remember them?
I don't, for some reason.
He's got, he's the mid-boss of this level. And you probably don't remember him because he's a fucking breeze. He's got this move where he, like, slams his hand down on the ground and, like, sends out an electric spark. And then other than that, he is, like, Uncle Sam on stilts, but he's Frankenstein.
I don't even think I realized that was a mid-boss.
That's a mid-boss.
Just, like, hit, gone.
That's
like,
a mid-boss. Yeah. He's not too tough, but he is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Definitely worth mentioning, I thought. Once you get past the munitions factory in Germany, you're moving on to Versailles Palace, France, which is where I hit a major wall.
Yeah.
Because it like all starts out in the courtyard. For me, this is the hardest part of the game.
Yeah.
When you're in the garden, and it's cool.
With the flowers and shit that switch up your controls.
And I think that's neat, because there are these giant roses that like sprinkle pollen. And it's like, if you get hit by the pollen, it reverses your left and right, which doesn't sound like a huge problem, but you're like kind of being swarmed by enemies like as it happens. So it's like you can just like get sprinkled by the pollen and then like just end up walking into a bunch of red skeletons.
Yep.
And then like the worst part of that is this is the hardest enemy in the game. Harder than some of the bosses. There are these swinging...
The scythers, like the Pokemon scythers.
Yes, these vine, like, they're like monkeys, but they're made of plant material, and they've got like scythe arms, and they swing in these like super wide
big arcs.
arcs.
Like there's between that enemy and the blood fountain with the skeletons, there's like no like you're gonna get hit. There's no overlap. Like there's no safe zone.
No, you have to like time it. You have to like, what I had to do was like study them and be like, okay, this one does one wide swing and then two small swings. So while it's doing the two small swings, let's get in there and kill it.
Yep.
And then it's like you have to go through like a gauntlet of them.
Yep.
It's hard. Like I swear I probably spent 35 minutes on that one section of stage 5. Once you get through, it's actually not too bad after that. I think it has one of the coolest bosses in the game. At the very end, you fight Lady Moss. You're kind of like dumped into this like decrepit garden kind of looking thing. It's almost like a crypt with like decayed floral decorations and stuff like that.
Mausoleums.
Yes. And there is this thing in the background that I didn't know what it was.
A huge fucking cocoon that's cracked open.
And that's with blood like dripping out of it. I had no idea it was a cocoon. I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is. It looks like someone cut open a tauntaun in the back of this
make
thing.
their own vagina back there?
Right? What is this, a homemade?
Man, this is pretty. I bet I could fuck this real good, but man, there ain't no hole.
No.
You're a genius, man. I'm gonna make me a hole. I'm not gonna make one easy slit. I'm making it all jagged. And, I can wiggle it around like a key. I'm gonna fuck this soft blood kiwi.
Then you see a ghost.
It looks like straight up one of the ghosts in the ballroom from Symphony of the Night. Like
totally,
standing
absolutely.
like stock still with like a white flowing dress. And, like it's you hit it and it floats back like it's very elastic. A few hits and it's dead, and then boom, Mothra.
It turns into a giant night butterfly.
Yeah.
And it also sprinkles pollen, which I thought was cool. But this pollen blows up.
Yeah, this will hurt you and not just like, oh, shit.
I thought it was a really, really cool idea for a boss. Also a very easy boss.
Yeah.
A super easy
especially
boss.
with Eric, yeah.
Yeah. And
with Eric, you can just hit straight up and hit it.
Yeah,
with John, it's a whole different matter.
Yeah, I believe it. And then once that's done, you move on to the Countess's castle, the hot vampire niece. You go to the hot vampire niece's house, which is an island in England, not the island of England, an island off of England called the Castle Proserpina. Proserpina.
Pussypina.
Which is aptly named Proserpinina. Serpentina, because she's Medusa, it turns out. You fight her in her, this is the last level.
Which I did not even realize that was Medusa until the credits.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like a dog.
You thought it was a dog? I just thought it was a snake.
Green flame dog.
Yeah. And it's like, it's a pretty easy fight.
It was like a weird dachshund, just as long. It's a long dog.
I do have the ability to understand what dachshunds say. I'm sure you remember that.
Yeah, sure.
I can't talk back to them, though.
Because at least Medusa in 4 was very recognizable.
Sure.
So this, they felt it was designed super well. Yeah. But
she does have tiny, tiny snakes on her head.
Yeah, it's
tiny.
Not like,
they're like gummy worms.
What's Medusa's feature? Let's just downplay that. So it just looks like a green floppy... Yeah.
She's a flappy girl.
She's a floppy girl. She's a floppy, flame-breathing girl.
But that's Elizabeth Bartley's second form. And then once you kill her, it's pretty much like, oh, shit, I think she's actually after death. My bad. You fight death first.
Oh, you do fight death first. It's a very different death. It's your boss gauntlet death.
Right. He shows up and he's got tarot cards, which is also kind of like a little Gunstar Heroes, right? With like the board game kind of thing,
Yep.
Where it's like he shows you a bunch of giant tarot cards that spin around. He's like Gambit, kinetic card, and then you
hope you don't hit any of my ham cards.
Right? Oh shit! You summoned Dave Thomas's golem.
Oh man.
Which is one of the bosses that you have to fight in this gauntlet. You fight the Ham Golem. You fight Dave Thomas's Abomination. You also fight
Gear Golem.
You fight Balls 3D, and then you fight the Stone Gargoyle.
Jumpy Bats. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you fight Death.
He has 2 wall meat cards that whenever you hit them, it explodes into wall meat.
I think he has 1 wall meat card, and he has 2 just direct attack cards.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, where he just big flame comes down, then he throws his cards all out again.
Right. I wish he had 2 meat cards because I died because it is a true boss gauntlet. I mean, like all the former bosses that you fought that he summons are weaker than they were, but there's still a bunch. You still have to fight 3 of them, and then him, and then Death. And Death is as Eric. Not a difficult fight. I don't know how it is with John, but his super jump, his Dragoon ability is like, it's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best thing. And because Death floats around and he does that classic. I love the move that Death does where he like stands on like or floats on one side of the screen and like uses the force to pull you towards him.
Yeah.
And then he throws a giant scythe at you.
Yep.
The reason I like it is because it's easy to dodge. He pulls you close to him.
So you can just unload on him.
You can hit him a whole bunch of stuff.
It.
Yeah, it's like, you idiot. Why do you even use this one?
Come here and stab me.
Why don't you just stay up in the air and then I don't summon more bosses?
Yeah, throw your telekinetic sickles at me. No. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Death. This is one of the more easy incarnations of Death.
It took some learning though, I thought, and it's like that is one where it's like it took me several times of going through the level because I'd get to Death, I'd die, just learning the fight, and then have to enter my password. There's a password system, by the way. Which, works like any password system. It just saves how many lives you had when you started that level, and off you go. I'd have to put the password in and do it all over again until I learned the fight, and then I could progress.
Yeah.
The stage 6 takes a long time. Like, it's not difficult, but it just takes a long time because it is one big boss gauntlet. You're essentially fighting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bosses when you include like all the forms of everything that you're fighting.
Yeah.
There are 9 bosses in this.
Did we forget? Because when do you fight the two faces that look at each other?
Oh, I'm sorry. That is in Versailles. Yeah, okay. The two giant Jesuses trying to kiss each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I thought that was a really easy boss fight. Just knock the white orbs it summons, hit those, and then they disappear. Just a pillar, hit the pillar, stand there, wait till they reappear, look at each other, throw 3 balls across the screen, hit those, they disappear, hit the pillar again. Like, shitty concept for a boss.
And it really does look like 2 giant Jesuses about to kiss. Like, it's serious. Like, that's the first. I was like, Billy Mitchell or Jesus? Same thing.
Same thing.
It's actually Billy Mitchell and Jesus about to kiss. And those orbs they summon.
Did you cheat, Billy? I don't know what you're talking about, Jesus.
At least you're not Dave Thomas. Come here. Give me a sloppy one. The orbs they summon are representative of their love.
Oh, you have to destroy it.
You have to destroy their love.
Destroy that permanent pillar. Mm-hmm. The pillar of their love. Let's see. Then Elizabeth Bartley.
I thought her fight before she turns into Medusa is actually interesting because like it's all about you can't deal damage. She summons orbs and like they're spinning around. Like she'll summon 4 orbs and the goal is to hit her. Each time you hit her, one of the orbs is destroyed. Mm-hmm. She doesn't take damage, but one of the orbs is destroyed. You have to destroy all 4 orbs before they all combine together. If they combine together, it summons enemies, and you have to fight those enemies, and she's dealt no damage. But if you destroy them all in time, it deals a little bit of damage. So I thought that was an interesting fight mechanic. I thought that was cool. And like the game does have some interesting boss fights.
Yeah. And you beat her Medusa form, she turns back into Elizabeth Bartley, crawls back into her little carriage, screams, and her melts, and her clothes
fall off. Yeah, I like that part a lot.
Like pouring out spaghetti, they just roll out of the stairs and into your path, and you just walk over them.
Dude, like when her clothes fell off, like I did that thing where I just kind of like scooted over away from them because like I didn't know if they would like turn into snakes or something.
It just hit me now that she looks like girl Captain Planet because of her blue skin and green hair.
She does. Like the hottest version of girl Captain Planet ever. Technically, she's a necromancer because she's trying to raise Dracula.
Yeah.
So Nikki would have to allow me to.
Oh, you could have sex with her. That's true.
I'm allowed to have sex with her.
Yeah.
So it's on the record. It's on the record. Sorry, sweetheart.
It's this girl cosplaying as Elizabeth Bartley. Technically, she's a necromancer. And then is Dracula after that?
That's Dracula, baby.
Okay.
It's Dracky. And he has 3 forms. Mm-hmm. He's got pretty much his normal form that you've seen since Castlevania 1, his human-ish form. And then he turns into like Wizard Dracula or Spectre Dracula, and he like flies around and summons he flame strikes you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then he turns into what Drex referred to as, and I assume the speedrunners referred to as, Cookie Monster Dracula. Because he turns into Cookie Monster, essentially. A giant Cookie Monster. He kind of reminds me like the crab people from South Park.
Crab people.
And that form has 3 subforms where he throws scythes at you that erupt in columns of flame is one form, and then the other form he turns red, and then his he kind of has, you know how like Satan in Ghosts and Goblins has that face on his crotch? He's got that. Dracula's got that. And it shoots fire at you. And his third form is like purple, and he turns to bone. And every time he tries to just stomp on you.
Yeah, and just throws bones in a direction you're not always facing. So that I found easy because with Eric, I could just trap him in the corner and just keep doing the upward thrust.
Yeah.
And he was just locked there.
Because you're invincible during it.
I would pretty much just lock him down.
It became easier for me when I was told that those bones don't do any damage. They're just for decoration. I assume that they dealt damage. The only thing that deals damage in that last bit is him touching you.
Oh, that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah, because it totally like feels like the game does a good job of like scaring the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Like these bones, because like they explode, man. Like when he jumps and lands in the bones, like they explode out from him. They look like they would hurt. And it makes sense that they would hurt because it's like you got enemies dropping pollen on you that explodes. You got a wolf that howls and panes of glass break, and you got to like dodge the glass. I would think shards of bone would hurt.
Well,
they don't.
Oh, I had no idea.
So there we go. And that's the end of the game.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Yep. I did. I'm glad I have this game under my belt now.
Yeah, me too. I meant to ask you if you'd ever played this game before.
No, I'd always wanted to, but never played it before.
Have you ever played Dracula X?
No,
because
looking forward to that too.
I think that's the last 16-bit Castlevania game that we've got.
Oh shit! All right.
I hear it as a weird one.
Good.
I hear it's a weird one that like doesn't really fit the formula.
I like Jason X, so I'm sure I'll like Dracula X.
What other? I like Malcolm X. I mean, I like all the X's.
True. Mega Man X.
Yeah. You name an X. I like X-Men.
X gonna give it to you.
Yeah. DMX. Yeah, of course. I loved it. I thought it was really good. I prefer like if you were to set this and Super Castlevania 4 in front of me, I'd go for Bloodlines. Yeah, right. It is kind of weird because it is a Genesis game. Like it doesn't like that is kind of weird. Like it doesn't feel. It feels like sacrilegious almost because it's like, wait a minute. It's on the Genesis.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Once I get past that, it's like, yeah, but it's a really nice game.
I did really love that last set of stairs going up to fight Dracula, and you get the classic music.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a rock
Yeah,
twist to
absolutely.
It. That was really nice.
Dude, I thought the music in this game was great.
Music was really good.
I thought the music was great. I thought the sound was not good.
The music had a tinny quality that I just come to expect with the Genesis.
Sure.
But they still made it work. The sound effects I thought were fucking shitty.
Yeah, the sound effects are not great.
They were weird. They didn't fit.
Yeah.
They were shitty.
And it's like when you jump and like land on the ground, it sounds like it sounds like a lock or something, like someone like locking a door. Like it doesn't have any oomph
the way
to
like
it.
the kind of sparkle, like when you swing your whip, like it didn't like it. Yeah, a lot of sound effects I just didn't think they didn't make sense to me. But that's here nor there. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I read that on Wikipedia that the composer went on to compose future Castlevania games. Like this was, I believe, her first foray into Castlevania. Like she did all the music for Symphony of the Night.
Oh, okay.
Which is wonderful music.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, it is.
And so sounds a lot better not on a Genesis.
I bet.
You doing all right?
Yeah, just coffee boy.
Yeah. You take some NyQuil?
I will after this.
Yeah. Take a little nappy poo?
Mm-hmm. That's all I got. I feel like we covered that pretty well.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I feel good about it.
All right.
Do you have any achievements for this game?
No.
No?
I should have. I did Beards and
You
Glass
played the shit out of it,
yeah. I totally forgot. I enjoyed it so much to think about achievements.
I do. I understand that.
Bible Beater. You unlock Bible Beater by getting that book that upgrades your weapon. Apparently, it's only a 50-50 shot whether it upgrades it or not.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that.
And I think it's a Bible. I could be wrong.
It looks like a Bible.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think they call it in the instruction manual. I think they call it a spell book, but that's a Bible.
It's what a Bible
That's
is.
a Bible.
Yeah.
It's a spell book. You read spells from
Jesus'
it. Do you
spell
not?
book.
That's all Proverbs is. Just fucking spells. That's
Song of Psalms. That's boner spells.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Or Song of Solomon, rather.
I didn't know any difference.
That's the one where that's sort of the erotic poem, Song of Solomon.
The erotic
Bible.
poem.
Yeah, it's a sexual poem. I believe that's the book where they talk about like these dudes with giant dicks that come like donkeys.
Wait, what?
I'll have to look it up to give you the quote.
Please do. I'll give you the achievements that Twitch chat came up with. In the meantime, I really want to hear this. I want to hear this Bible smut. First achievement I've got, I'm supposed to read this in Groundskeeper Willie's voice, so I'm not going to be able to do that. Quiet, you want to get sued? In order to unlock Quiet, you want to get sued? You need to play the game with the sound on, and an Elektra Records executive next to you sues you for ripping off Dr. Feelsgood. Because Dr. Feelgood, sorry. Because the opening, like in level 1, like it starts up and you're getting into it, and I swear to you, the first thing I thought was, it sounds like I'm the one they call Dr. Feelgood. Yeah. Like, I mean, it is just like, it was like immediate, and it was like, I'm not gonna be able to shake this, like for the entire fucking game. And credit goes to Faceful of Alien Wing Wong for that achievement. Did you find it? The Bible smut?
It's not Song of Solomon. It's in Ezekiel 23:20. There she lusted after her lovers, whose genitals were like those of donkeys.
Wait, his what?
Whose genitals were like those of donkeys, and whose emission was like that of horses.
Jesus.
So you long for the lewdness of your youth.
When
in Egypt your bosom was caressed, and your young breast fondled. Ezekiel 23:20.
Man, I like that. Is that where the term donkey dick comes from?
Maybe.
The Bible?
The Bible had the first size queen.
I'm going to look this up in Urban Dictionary right now. Yeah, I hope Urban Dictionary does like quote the Bible and like everything.
You better be hung like a donkey, come like a fucking horse, bro, or fucking go home. You're not caressing these young breasts.
Did you know, true fact, that's the only verse of the Bible that was written by Lisa Lampanelli. Second achievement I've got is, I love this one. I'll let you cough first.
Thank you.
She gave me harpies. In order to unlock She Gave Me Harpies, you need to get swarmed by harpies in the Tower of Pisa in doing it wrong. Because there is a classic Castlevania moment in this game, in the Tower of Pisa, where harpies swoop in with carrying fleamen, and they drop those fleamen off. And
fucking thing. Yeah.
So it's a classic. It's a Castlevania staple, and I love that it's in this game. Credit for that achievement goes to Brooks Arnold, a.k.a. Fixer, on Twitch. Third achievement, Tyler. This comes from Edgelord Kyle. If you play Alucard's right, you can put your mouth on my spear. In order to unlock, if you play Alucard's right, you can put your mouth on my spear. Kill a Medusa head with your spear tip.
Nice.
Achievement 4, coming from Sandwich Pope Phil. Open wide for Chunky. In order to unlock Open Wide from Chunky, I'm sure you remember the classic game that is from, right?
Oh, yeah. No.
That is one of the many phrases, the extreme 90s phrases that show up on the Jumbotrons as you're fighting in Balls 3D.
Oh, God. Yeah, now that you say that, shit.
And Phil told me that actually Open Wide for Chunky is a catchphrase from like a 1950s candy bar commercial. And it is like, I watched it and it is fucking bizarre and frightening because it's like, it's so old that it doesn't know how to not be creepy. It's playing the song like Open Wide for Chunky, and then it like zooms in closely on children's mouths eating the candy bar. It is just like,
I mean, Chunkies are good, but
have you had Chunkies?
Yeah.
What? They're still around?
Yeah.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, it's like chocolate with like raisins and peanuts.
I didn't. Where do you get these? At Cracker Barrel?
You can't get them at Cracker Barrel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that exclusively where they're sold?
I bought one at Walgreens the other day.
No shit. All right, I'm gonna go
square silver candy bars.
I'm gonna go get a Chunky. I'm gonna go open wide.
Good.
I think I'm gonna go open wide for Chunky. The only Chunky I was familiar with is Campbell's Chunky Soup, where they'd have that
I tell Melissa that in a totally different context.
Yeah, you're like Ezekiel 23:20. Get ready for this donkey.
Get ready for your horse submission.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did someone order a horse submission? That's your role play. You come clomping in.
Chicka, 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 chunkies. Horse submissions.
Man.
Well, that could be a T-shirt. Chunky's horse submissions.
That's a much worse.
Since 1912.
That commercial's a lot creepier. Man, you remember that 1950s commercial where those kids are just drinking out of a horse like a hose?
Do you like our horse milk hose?
Man, you remember who could we get to sponsor our candy bar? Well, the guy who played Wilbur and Mr. Ed's dead. How about Mr. Hands? Nah, he's dead too. Fuck it. So in order to unlock Open Wide for Chunky, you need to beat the Gear Boss.
All right.
Achievement number 5. This comes from 404 Lord Paul Pig. We fart in your general direction. In order to unlock, we fart in your general direction. By the way, there were so many achievement submissions, like so many, and a good majority of them were Monty Python.
Were
Holy
so
Grail.
bad, I'm not reading.
They were actually all really good.
Yeah.
I had a really, really hard time, but I did think it was great because there were a bunch of Holy Grail quotes, and I think it's because early on in the game, the first boss fighting that armored knight and his body parts are flying off, it was very reminiscent of the Black Knight and Holy Grail.
Okay.
So in order to unlock We Fart in your general direction, all you need to do is beat the stupid French monsters in the Palace of Versailles, and get the fuck
Versailles.
out. Versailles is
Versailles.
how we say it here in Western Kentucky. Versailles.
What else did I have? It's no Phoenix Down, but it'll do. And you unlock that by whenever you go in Atlantis, glitch out the boss on the right so only the left one spawns, which is like that boss in the Veld whenever you kill him
Wow.
and then he approaches from the back of you undead. So
I don't know the Veld tricks.
because that was whenever you find Realm down and you go over that behemoth jumps out at you and you kill him and then suddenly the undead version from
the undead
behind
one.
you.
Yeah. I need to replay Final Fantasy VI. It's been a long time.
Yeah, man.
It's been since we talked about it.
Shit, yeah. I mean, even long,
On the show.
that long I did my challenge, but that was before even that, so I didn't play it all the way to completion.
You didn't get that horse submission?
No. I just edged it for a while.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
I got a couple questions for you.
Hell yeah.
The first of which is, how much do you think this game is on price charting? If you were to buy this right now used, how much do you think you'd pay for it?
I think because it's late.
It's not punctual.
Genesis games also not as expensive as Super Nintendo games, and their case being hard. I'm gonna lower it down to
Like a donkey dick.
Like a donkey dick. $17.
Tyler, actual retail value of Castlevania Bloodlines used on average on pricecharting.com at the time of this recording is $46.
Holy shit!
Yeah, $46.
Because I originally had 35 in my head, but I was like, Genesis games usually aren't that expensive.
That's pretty expensive. Do you think it's worth it?
I'm sure there's another platform to play it on. If it's on a virtual console or anything, then $46.
So you're endorsing piracy?
I mean, yeah, I'm endorsing Barter from Mr. Bay.
Tyler, I've got another question for you. If you were to give this game a beard that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard would it be?
I would give it the nice, sensible mustache of Heath Ledger as Jacob Grimm in The Brothers Grimm.
Is that any good?
I don't know. It just, watching clips of it, just feel like it fit this mystique.
Mystique's in it?
Yeah, oh yeah. She plays both of them.
Jennifer Lawrence or Uncle Jesse's ex-wife?
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a pair of glasses that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of glasses would you give it?
I would give it the spectacles of Matt Damon as Wilhelm
Matt
Grimm.
Damon?
Matt Damon.
Oh, he plays the other Grimm brother.
The other Grimm brother.
What's his name? Matt
Wilhelm.
Grimm?
Matt Grimm.
Wilhelm? Wilhelm Scream?
Matt Damon. Matt Damon.
Matt Demon?
Matt Damon.
He's a reoccurring villain in Castlevania.
Perfect. I want to hit a giant demon, just Matt pop up.
It's like a side scrolling, beat 'em up. Their names pop up.
Matt, Jeff, Troy,
I like those. Good beards and glasses.
Barbara.
Barbara the demon. And also a tennis player in Super Tennis.
And one of the...
I remember that because I was making fun of the name Barbara, and Meg was like, "That's my mom's name." So I was like, "Oh, well."
Your mom's got a dumb name.
Right. That's essentially what I did.
What's your mom, like 60? Yeah? Okay, well, that makes sense.
Okay, all right, fine. I also have an Aunt Barbara, so I'm allowed to say it. She's sweet, not good at tennis.
There's, and then one of the, in Shining Force Sword of Haja, one of the generals of the demon army, Barbara.
Is it really? That's awesome. Tyler,
yes, Dave.
I got a bunch of other questions for you.
Yeah,
I know we're going long.
We are, but let's do it.
I wanted to take some calls, but I don't think we're going to be able to.
Nah.
I've got a quiz that was sent to us by maybe potentially new title quizmaster Matt Cowan.
Pretty good.
Bovine Bear Matt Cowan. He sent me a quiz and he sent me an answer key. The problem with the answer key is I've got no way of reading one answer.
Melissa, are you out there? Oh, nope.
She could be a quiz. She could give us the quiz. I've got no way of reading the answers without seeing all of them. So
maybe I can pull her in for this.
Okay.
All right. So to help us take this quiz, we've brought in Choco Chica. She's trying to use my phone,
and it keeps turning off. Because the way that it was sent in, there's I can't remember if this was mentioned already or not. I can't remember how much conversation we had on mic and how much conversation we had off mic. But there are 2 emails that Matt sent us, and it's essentially impossible for me to not see the answers when I check one answer, and I don't want to spoil it for us. I want us to fail this because we're totally going to fail this.
Yeah.
I want to fail it on our own merit. So what I'll do is I'll read the questions. And then Tyler, you and I will try our best, and then we will look to Choco Chica, and she will tell us how wrong we were and give us the correct answer. All right. Part 1. I, Matt, name a duo that pertains to a vampire-related book, video game, comic book, or movie. Tyler and Dave, that's you and me, must name the corresponding title.
Ham clops and dry tubs.
Right? Are you ready? Ham clops and dry tubs. At it again. Failing another quiz. That's what when they're like, "Oh, what name should we put on your motorcycle permit? Would you like the one that's on your driver's license?" No, ham clops.
No, that's what everybody knows me as.
Yeah.
Do you have any aliases, Mr. Moore? Ham clops.
Ham clops. I want a vanity plate that reads ham clops. All right. Question 1. Lestat and Lewis.
Interview with the Vampire.
You're pretty confident about that? You sounded confident.
Lestat is Interview with the Vampire.
Lestat, okay. I'd have no idea. So let's go with Interview with the Vampire. Choco Chica?
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, it's Interview with the Vampire. Good job, Dry Tubs.
Yeah.
Ham Clops letting us down. Number 2, The Count and Renfield. The Count and Renfield.
Renfield that's Dracula.
And The Count is from Sesame Street.
It's true. Because I know Renfield from doing 7 Brides for Dracula in high school.
What is 7 Brides for Dracula? A play?
Dracula. That's when he first brought on Lucy and turned Lucy, and Lucy is also the vampire from...
Like Lucille Ball?
Yes, just like Lucille Ball.
You're right.
What is the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Lucy was the vampire in that, and she was one of the 7 Brides for Dracula.
Okay. Do you remember that time Desi Arnaz got really mad at Lucy because she turned into a vampire? She and Ethel got jobs at the factory.
Lucy!
Came back all pale.
I need blood for sustenance.
And cigarettes.
Yes.
Blood and cigarettes.
I don't know what form of media I want to say, though.
The Count and Renfield. I have no idea. You're going to excel at this. I'm not.
So I feel like Dracula is sort of like his Igor, like his minion. I mean, you could also just go with straight Dracula, maybe.
Bram Stoker's?
Bram Stoker's
Dracula?
Sure,
all right, let's do it. Choco Chica?
Ding, ding,
Yeah!
All right.
All right. I don't know why Ham Clops got excited. You essentially got all that. I was like, let's just say it.
Because what was it? 7 Brides for Dracula was the one play starring me, Jacob York, and Chriselle Staus of soap opera fame.
Yeah, what soap was she on? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Was she one of the 7 brides?
Yeah, I hope so.
All right. Question number 3. Seth and Richie Gecko. Seth and Richie Gecko. It's like a Geico commercial? Like were they like the cavemen?
Seth is what's... Because it's the gecko.
Well, Freddy died by fire.
The Gecko brothers are Dusk Till Dawn.
Yep.
Nice, dude. Nice pull, man.
Josh, I used to watch that several times with Josh. Josh loved the monologue. I'm not going to go over the monologues since Choco Chica is here, but
Cheech's?
Cheech's monologue from Dusk Till Dawn.
All the cats he had?
yeah.
For sale?
All the different kinds of cats.
My favorite is the fat cat that he was had for sale. All right. Number 4, the two Corys. The two Corys.
Lost Boys?
It's totally Lost Boys. Choco Chica? We got it?
Right.
Number 5. Now my phone went to sleep. Eric Brooks and Abraham. Is it Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
That's what I would go with. Abraham Lincoln Vampire.
You want to go with it?
Hunter or Vampire Slayer, yeah.
Vampire Slayer? I can't remember.
I can't remember which one it is.
Choco Chica?
It says Blade.
Blade.
We were close.
All right.
I've seen like Blade 2 once, like in the theater. That's the only Blade media I've ever consumed.
I haven't seen any of the Blade movies.
Yeah.
I hate saying that I haven't seen anything because what happens when I say that I haven't seen a movie, it's like inevitably. Like tomorrow, I'm gonna.
Welcome to my world, David.
Well, you're killing this, man. You are slaying this like Cheech slayed all those cats
in a Slumdog Millionaire sort of way.
Bringing it back to The Office, Dunder Mifflin picnics, Slumdog Millionaire style. All right, let's see. Number 6, Cain and Raziel.
That's a video game. That's like, is it The Legend of Cain? God, because.
It might be The Legend of Cain.
Cain is Cain the vampire,
right.
and then he has Raziel. I remember playing those games. I had.
That's what it has to be.
2 of the Raziel games,
right? I've never played any of them, but I'm familiar. I've heard of that franchise.
Yeah, maybe Legend. I can't remember exactly.
Legend of Cain.
Let's go with that. I can't think of anything better.
Choco Chica.
I'm pretty sure because it says Legacy of Cain.
Legacy of Cain.
Okay.
Let's give ourselves half credit.
Yep, half credit.
Yeah. All right, number 7.
I haven't thought about those games in forever.
Number 7, Eric and John.
Castlevania Bloodlines.
Yeah.
And if it's not it, then you're wrong.
Choco Chica? All right, we got it.
And at the end of it, it says duh.
Duh. The funniest part about that is I read it and I was like, I have no idea.
Oh, man. Eric John.
I have no idea.
The Bible?
Right? All right, part 2 of the quiz. I, Matt, give a clue that pertains to a specific vampire from video game history. Tyler and Dave, that's us, must name the corresponding character in the form of a question.
Okay.
Number 8. From the Metal Gear series. I know. I've already lost. Many consider him to not even be an actual vampire. Well,
Revolver Ocelot.
I know, right?
Big boss.
Vincent from Final Fantasy VII?
Vincent.
I have no idea.
I'm going to go Revolver Ocelot just because I always like that name.
All right, Revolver Ocelot.
Who is Revolver Ocelot?
Who is? Choco Chica?
It says Vamp.
Vamp? Dang it.
I've never heard of that character.
Yeah, sorry. Not a strong suit of mine.
VAMP.
Yeah, that's Vamp.
Not a real vampire, just has the name Vamp.
Right. They have conversations behind Vamp's back. Do you think Vamp's a vampire? Or do you think...
I think just pick that name for attention.
Yeah,
probably.
All right, number 9. She hacks and slashes her enemies to make it rain up in here.
Who is Blood Rain?
Yes, who is Blood Rain? Choco Chica? Yes.
Yeah. That's a movie we need to do sometime.
We do need to do, yeah. I like the idea of doing more movies for Patreon.
Yep.
Because it is fun to do.
It goes over well.
It's fun to do movies. Number 10, this is for all the marbles. Well, then why do we do all the other questions? We should just
If that's for all the marbles.
Answer both of these vampires correctly, and I'll just give you guys the whole damn quiz. Appearing in the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion and Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, respectively, one vampire is found in the Dark Brotherhood Chidenhall Sanctuary and offers the player a dark gift. The other is found in the Dark Brotherhood Falkreath Sanctuary and is a forever child. I'm supposed to give the names of these characters. I remember them, but I do not.
Who is Earl and who
Toe
is
Jam?
Who is Toe Jam and who is Earl?
Choco Chica, did we get it right?
I don't know because I can't read it.
All right, we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't get it. Let's see. That's the last question, so I'm not going to spoil anything. Vincente, Valtteri, and Babette.
Are you not up on your Italian? Well, thank you very much.
Yes,
for
we
helping us
appreciate
out.
it. I wish I had chocolate to give you in payment, but I don't, unfortunately. Maybe next time I come over.
We'll get you some chocolate.
Yeah, we'll get you some chocolate.
Thank you for letting me be on the show.
Yeah,
Problem.
you bet.
All right, now we can
All
say
right, she's
fuck.
gone. We say fuck.
Now we say
All right,
fuck.
I've been building it up. Fuck. I've been building up like horse cum.
Give me your fuckly horse submission.
I think that's it. I think we're done.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube.
We're YouTube stars. Did you know that?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
So don't miss the next episode. What did we agree to talk about?
It was your idea.
You're right. Now I remember.
So I hope, because I don't remember the name of the game. What is
Super Buster Brothers, starring Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins.
He's agreed
Will
to
be
do
our
it?
next game. Yep.
Awesome.
He's all good.
Awesome. It'll be, I love Phil. It'll be fun.
He was
to record
ecstatic whenever I asked
Really?
him. So, yeah.
Be prepared for him to mention that he wants us to do a whole bunch of bass fishing games, because he's been really talking about those recently.
That's one of those things that's really funny to Phil. So.
He legitimately enjoys them, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of want to play him because I'm curious. And it's I like fishing when I was a kid. But it's how in the world are we going to talk about a fishing game?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
We'll have to figure it out.
What do you think about that boss? That fish boss.
The bass boss.
Man, he was hard to reel in. Yep.
Yeah, but he fought.
Yep.
Man.
Then Matt can do a sweet bass quiz. Big mouth Billy Bass.
Yeah, the big mouth Billy Bass quiz. Let's see. Hey, do you want to send us something? Because we've got a few packages. We had intros we wanted to go through this week, but we've got some packages open next week.
Yep.
So-
Shadowrunner Cody sent something recently.
Yeah, he did. So if you want to send us something to contribute to some intros, so you can send that to TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002.
You can call us if you want. We wanted to take calls this episode, but then we ran super long.
Yeah.
This has been a long one. I thought we were going to be in and out, but I talked about dying on a motorcycle for a long
This has
time.
been a horsely episode.
Yeah, it's been a muley episode for sure. You can call us if you want at 270-883-2555. Try to keep that call under 3 minutes or you'll get cut off. And you'll have to call back. And then there's no guarantee that we'll play both of those calls in the same episode. It'll be all kinds of weird. You can also find us, we mentioned this earlier, on Patreon, patreon.com/tadpog. Thank you very much to everybody who's donating to us. We do really appreciate it. We just released an episode on Adam Sandler's movie Pixels, which you can find on there. Along with all the bonus episodes that we've done, there's videos of us eating spicy things and some of us throwing up. We try to do cool shit on there. We do have to take photographs with waifu pillows. We have not forgotten about that. Just want to let you know we haven't done it yet, but we have not forgotten about it.
No,
It is going to happen.
It's
going to happen.
Swears.
Even though everyone's been really cool about it and has not even mentioned it.
Yep.
So, what else?
Just the phone number.
Yeah, we got the phone. You can find us on Facebook. Just search for TADPOG. There's a Facebook group, TADPOG Nation. There's a lot of cool people there doing a lot of cool shit. Lots of memeing going on. You can find us
the memes.
the memes, all the dankest memes.
The dankest memes.
You can find us on Twitter. We're at TADPOG_podcast. And we do have a Discord server. So hit me up if you want that, I guess. I'm very inactive on there.
Hey, play Empires and Puzzles with me. Get that app and then tell me. Be like, hey, I'm playing it. I'm pretty strong.
I
I'll
haven't
be like,
done it yet.
All right.
You talking to me directly?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I don't think I'm going to do it.
That's all right.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
all
I'm
right.
going to do it.
It's all right. Is that it? Our theme song
Probably.
is Moves by Sycamore Drive. And link to that track in the show notes at tadpog.com. How you want to close this out, Dave?
Like Cheech? Nah, we can't do that. Never mind. Never mind. Like our favorite barnyard animal from the Bible.
So until next time.
Oh, it's the same one. We're about the horse. We're about the horse coming a bunch.
Tropic
You were like.
I was a horse. I was like, fuck it, I'll be a donkey.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
You be the horse, I'll be the donkey.
You were like one of the.
Fuck, and we'll make a mule.
Right. You were like one of the boys in Pinocchio going to that fucking island.
Damn right.
Where they smoke cigars.
Where it's theorized that Donkey from Shrek is one of them.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that.
And now a dramatic reading by Tyler Holland. All right. Pussy, pussy, pussy. Come on in, pussy lovers. Here at the Titty Twister, we're slashing pussy in half. Give us an offer on our vast selection of pussy. This is a pussy blowout. All right. We got white pussy, black pussy, Spanish pussy, yellow pussy. We got hot pussy, cold pussy. We got wet pussy. We got smelly pussy. We got hairy pussy, bloody pussy. We got snapping pussy. We got silk pussy, velvet pussy, naga hide pussy.
Naga hide?
Never,
like the monster
I've
naga?
never seen that written down before. We even got horse pussy, dog pussy, chicken pussy.
No donkey pussy. No
Come
mule
on.
pussy.
You want pussy. Come on in, pussy lovers. If we don't got it, you don't want it. Come on in, pussy lovers. Suicideboys.fun.
That was a reading from Seven Brides of Dracula.
Starring Trishelle Styles.